Another Thursday night, good opportunity here. Really good team coming in. Disappointed last game. Didn't play very well, didn't tackle well, didn't run the ball well enough. Played a good team, had an opportunity to get a win that we let get away, which is disappointing. Had some good practice, a little bit of recruiting time, a little bit of recovery time, a little bit of development time, but we've had now, 5, 6, 7 days getting ready for Rice coming in Thursday night. So another game, ESPN, another great opportunity to help with branding the program, branding the conference, branding our school. So excited about that again. And playing a really good team. And we've had some good practice, a good start to the preparation, but we need to continue as we're into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 more days of preparation. So looking forward to Thursday night's game.
I'd rather not ask you about quarterbacks again, but we've heard you say a couple times through the year we're going to need them both, and then also you'd kind of like to get both on the field. I just wonder, what's in play as we sit here, on Monday.
Again, I just thought the last game the weather gotten so bad, and it was really difficult in the second half to throw, and we needed to make a play. And I just, Cardell runs well, but Braylon's a little bit bigger. I thought we might need to run through trash. He popped a big run. And we kind of finished with him, but it wasn't a slight of Cardell's play as much as just the elements where it was. It was, we had some pretty solid, steady rain there through the third and fourth quarter. They both came out of that game. We're kind of back healthy now, full throttle. And those two guys are getting the bulk of it. We still have Roman and Kirk Francis behind them right now, and Kittleman, but those two are getting the bulk of it. And bottom line, they still just need to play better. Even though Braxton made a big run, and it's tough situations with weather. It wasn't like pass stats were that good for any of them. We've had some good pass stats, bad, but we still aren't throwing the ball well. We're not running routes well. We're not pass proing well. We're a little bit more one-dimensional I'd like to be, so we're working hard to get the pass game in play. And we're not going to have them looking over their shoulder, where if a guy makes a mistake, he's, quote, out. But I guess we'll just kind of see how they play and kind of expect them both to the offense doesn't change dramatically. With one, it's not like one's a pure pocket passer and one's a thrower. So I think defensively, I don't think they would look at us differently. They don't have a lot of Braylon this year playing yet. But they have last year's stuff that I know they've looked at with open dates. So, the offense really doesn't change. And hopefully we can just get those guys as young as they are just to continue to play better. We still got to protect the ball better, and we got to get the ball in the end zone more than we're getting it. So, we're still a work in progress offensively right now.
And scouting Rice, obviously throw the ball, pretty well. The numbers would indicate that. JT Daniels, know where he's been, and former 5-star recruit and everything. Just, if you would, what you've seen from him in their passing game.
Yeah, they're a big team now. Their offensive line's very, very big, and I think they start with saying the ball's going to get out in space, but he throws the ball, he gets it out of his hand quickly, and there's a lot of spacing routes and quick throws. So he's very, very smart. So he's not going to sit there and not that they can't. McCaffrey's a quality receiver and has had a lot of great games and good plays. They have a couple other receivers that are very good. Move the tight end around. So they're probably because he being veteran and probably lean a little bit more on the pass, but it's the ball out of the hand. So he's not been sacked a whole lot. I know they're disappointed like us. I think last game would be a game they would feel that they let that one get away, and they had some turnovers in that game. So like us, I know we're both sitting here at the same. I think it matches up as a really good game defensively. Again, big up front, umbrella coverage. So to me, Mike's been there for a while, their head coach, and their staff, and to me it looks like they know what they want to be, what their identity is. And with JT being a veteran quarterback, you see the ball being thrown a lot, but you see it being thrown at what I call the stress-free world. And it's not pure air raid or that, but it's still quick passing, space passing, ball out of the hand, take the shots when you want to, the intermediate pass when you want to. But he's a tremendous player. They're one of the better offenses in our league.
Because of the COVID year, there are a lot of really veteran, super senior kind of quarterbacks out there. You haven't had the benefit of that, but you've had to face two guys that are in the Heisman race already, and Penix and Gabriel. JT is one of those guys who's been around a long time too. I'm not saying he's on that level, but just what is the challenge of going up against a quarterback who might be 23 years old and has seen as much as he's seen?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say a challenge. It's kind of where you're trying to get your guys, because with experience and as you make mistakes and as you learn how to prepare better and as you get exposed to things, like we sit here and watch tape all the time, but the kid's looking at it when he's playing from a different level, and sometimes you have to play through things. And so when you have a veteran guy that's played through things, they can handle the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the stresses. They understand a little bit more because they've made mistakes and grown. So I mean, you know, not everybody's going to have a veteran quarterback. Sometimes you're young, but when you're playing a veteran quarterback, he just makes it hard because he's going to take care of the ball, and he's a very talented guy, and they got a good system. And like I said, they've been putting up points, and we're going to have to play a tremendous game defense. We're going to have to play better than we did last game. We didn't tackle well. Last game, the passing game didn't hurt us because the weather got bad. This game, the ball's going to be out in space. We're going to have to tackle and get them on the ground and cover them up, and not give them cheap plays.
Sure.
You've talked about working on managing turnovers or limiting them in games. How do you go about really trying to improve that in practice?
We do a ball security deal for fumbles, and we've been okay taking care of the ball. I think we've lost 2 fumbles. With the young quarterback, sometimes we've made some decisions, and the ball shouldn't go there. What's your read? What are you thinking? And sometimes that's myself and Coach Spurrier making sure we run in plays that they understand, or that they truly understand what's going on. You know, when you call a play, there's a lot of looks, a lot of variables, and how many times when you're trying to run a fair amount of run game and pass game, do you get all the looks, quote, covered? And when you're a veteran quarterback, you've banked some of those looks in your back pocket. You've got that from previous, seasons and spring balls and preparation. Young guys, it's a little bit of trial and error. So, we've emphasized a lot of passing this week in practice, a little bit more routes on air time. We've extended our 7-on-7 time just to continue to throw. We need our receivers need to play better. I don't think and I guess the receivers could say this. I don't think the passing mistakes or interceptions have been because they didn't know what the quarterback was going to do. You can say, well, I practice with this guy all the time. I'm kind of in rhythm, but some of the throws we've made, that ball should not be thrown there. So it's just learning how to be smarter with the ball. We've relied a little bit more on the run game, and we've done that because, quite honestly, sometimes you want to make sure the ball doesn't go to them. So sometimes we've taken the air out of the football. I think I looked the other day like our throwing numbers are not very high, and that's because we're trying to be smart and take care of the quarterback and not put our defense. That's why our defenses play a little bit better. We still have had a few more turnovers than like. I think the Oklahoma game skews that because we had 5 in that game. I felt in that game, as you guys have seen, they're really good on defense. And I didn't think we could run the ball, and then we had to throw the ball. And that being said, we pushed it, and we got burned in that game. Against Washington, I thought we could run the ball a little bit. I didn't think we had to stress the passing game as much. So, the turnovers are a little bit skewed because of one game with 5. But we're having a lot of games 2, 3, and you want to get that down to 0, maybe 1. You like to throw the ball where maybe 1 out of every 25, 30 passes, there's 1. But you saw last week, the great quarterback at Southern Cal, all of a sudden you can have an off day, and you got to learn, you got to grow from that, and these guys got to keep learning and growing. So I'd like to be more wide open this week. We'll just see if we can get around. This team, though, plays a lot of drop 8, multiple coverage, and the variation of the Iowa State defense has become so in vogue in this region that we've played here. And a lot of teams playing. That being said, that a lot of guys in coverage, sometimes it makes it hard to throw the ball. But we need to and passing the ball is a lot with the quarterback, but it's everyone. It's protection, it's route running, it's play calling, it's everyone working together.
With that in mind, and Ryan Cooper being a first-year coach, how have you seen either him develop here through the first half of this season, or how much do you kind of lean in to the wide receiving game and with all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we put the game plan kind of all together. Together collectively. Everybody has their ideas, and Ryan has a boatload of ideas, as would Coach Spurrier, Coach Mays, and Coach Fry and Coach Stanchek. A little bit more run game. I'd say the 3 of us between myself, Coach Switz, Coach Spurrier, and sometimes Lance Dunbar have some ideas with passing game. Ryan, I think is a great young coach. I think he's really good with the kids on the field. I think he's very good in fundamentals and in his progression of teaching. And, bottom line, we got some young players that we've had to rely on that are still working through it. We got a couple of veterans that need to play better, that are some of our best backups or some of our veterans. So, the receiving corps last year basically graduated, and the quarterbacks are getting a lot of scrutiny, maybe because we had a few more turnovers, interceptions, but it's a group deal, and that receiver corps is just it's a little bit of work in progress. Talk about young, old quarterbacks. Well, we got a combination of young receivers and young quarterbacks, and it's been challenging, but it's fun. And Coach Switz is doing a great job. He's a tremendous young coach, great coach.
If you comment about health-wise, I know Kylie on went off the field. I don't know how his status, but and some of the other guys like Marquise, and just how are y'all holding up health?
No, not bad. Cadion's been big practicing. Marquise has got a foot, and he's out for a while. I don't think we'll have him available this week. He didn't play last game. Hurt his foot in the Temple game. So Taj Gary hurt his knee in the last game too. So those guys are going to be, I think, on the shelf. But the health of the line, the D-line, I think we got Owen Ostrowski got ready to set and get back and play. Linebackers are healthy. DBs pretty good. I think other than Marquise. And Taj Gary got a knee messed up in the rain the other day. Those two guys will be limited this week.
Okay, and talk a little bit about how you feel the offensive line along with the tight ends. I know about how they're blocking and just could you rate their play?
Yeah, I think they've been decent. Last game was not our best game. I thought they controlled the line of scrimmage a little bit more, and the weather played into it where we couldn't throw. That's why we had to get the quarterback a little bit more involved with a couple of the runs than normal. So we got to get it wasn't our best line game. I thought we played really pretty good against the Temple team, but not very well against FAU. I thought we didn't tackle very well against FAU. So the physical side of blocking and tackling wasn't as good as it had been. And we were able this week to work some fundamental work. We were also able, a week ago, as we came out and practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, to not do as much banging with our older guys, do some developmental work, but do some individual work to make sure our tackling and blocking stays clean. We went out Saturday, went out Sunday, and had 2 good work days. Today's a class day. We'll have some meetings, and we'll have an evening practice tonight because of all the labs we have today. And I think we're in a good spot, but our lines played good. I'd like to see it play better because that is the veteran part of the team. The quarterback and the receiving crowd is young. The O-line's the veteran part of the team, and we need to lean on those guys to play well. And they've been okay. I'd like to see them. To me, you don't know if your line's good to the end of the year, and you look and see how consistent they are. And I'd like to see them play better. And we've had a couple good days of practice, but we're playing this big front, very, very big defensively, and they'll need to play well for us to move the ball Thursday night.
And also, just one more thing about a guy who got in and made a catch. I know he's been banged up, but Malachi came in and made a catch.
Yeah, Malachi's back full tilt, which we needed. He had got an ankle injury coming out of preseason. I think he had a touchdown the first game, and I think next week in practice just tweaked his ankle and had about 3 or 4 weeks where he really, much like Braylon, just couldn't push off, couldn't protect himself, just couldn't play like he needed to play. He's back practicing consistently. He's getting all the work, and he's a veteran guy. He's a little bit bigger, and it's kind of nice to have him in the mix. So with Marquise being out, you're right now you're losing a guy you like, but Malachi coming back, it kind of evens up as far as the volume of reps and guys, and he's a veteran player, so it's good to have him back in the mix.
Any other questions?
After the Northern Illinois and Temple games, you told us that you had kind of had those in mind, or maybe even talked to the team before the season saying, like, these are really important for us. Does this one and maybe all the home games the rest of the way fall into the same sort of category to have the kind of year you want to have these games?
Yeah, I mean, again, in building the program momentum and wanting your seniors, and because we do have like a lot, you're talking about JT being a super senior. We have several super seniors on our team that are playing defense, offense, offensive line, et cetera. You want those guys because, you got guys that have played ball since they're 6 or 8 or 10 years old. Now they're 22, 23. You got, a decade plus of family commitment and a lot of people invested in you to play. You want them to end on a high note. So that was the frustrating thing last week. That was a winnable game. We didn't play well. We let that one slip away, and you don't want that. We need to bounce back. We need to bounce back with some urgency and some toughness. We need to take care of the ball. We need to play winning football and do what it takes against a very good team. It's going to be a tough matchup, but this is a game that we need to play well. We've practiced well. I thought last week we had a phenomenal practice on Wednesday and really talked about that and showed that to guys. I thought we had some really good prep over the weekend, and hopefully we can keep some momentum. We have started slowly, and we need to come out of the gate and start faster as a football team. We need to play 4 quarters. We're in the back half of the season. We've now played 6 games with the open date, so we're down, and you can count it almost on your fingers the number of weeks of football you have left. And we want these guys to have fun, to maximize it, all hands on deck. A lot of energy across the department, whether it be medical or equipment or video. Everybody on point, having some fun, and let's finish this thing strong. So a big game this week, Game we need to play like heck to have a chance to win, and then we finish up again. We're in conference play, and then it gets back to a little bit more of a normal routine of a Saturday, and hopefully we can finish strong and playing some really good conference teams as we move forward. But a big game this week for sure. That's good.
Anything else for Coach?
Appreciate it. Y'all be good.